let's do it, man.
All right. We are live, Tom. Tom,
Morning.
This is the weekly. Good morning. This is the weekly stand-up. How you doing, brother?
Things are fantastic. How are you doing, man?
Man, you know what? I can't complain. For a Monday, it's time to get going. I got a big week ahead, and I'm excited about starting to do this weekly call. And I woke up this morning and I asked my Alexa or my Google like what the temperature was. It was like she said 37 degrees, and I'm looking behind you at the beautiful, scenic, majestic view of Costa Rica. What is the temperature where you're at? Because you're standing outside in a t-shirt.
It's 37 degrees Celsius.
That's a big difference.
Hot. That's how it is. I'll tell you right now, right? This t-shirt will come in about 2 hours. It's stifling hot. But having said that, hey, listen, guys, whoever celebrates Easter, happy Easter. Good to have you here. It's a different Monday for a lot of us because some of us are on holiday, right? But for those of you who are grinding this morning, this is the weekly wake-up call.
Yep, weekly wake-up call. We're excited to do this, start off the week with focus and intention, give you a few strategies and a few tips to think about because the week has already started. So have you started yet? It's day 2 of the week.
You know, my week starts Sunday night. It's the planning. We're going to go into something very intentional. A lot of people wake up, Sunday night, they're kind of like dreading Monday. They're dreading waking up in the morning because they've got another week. They had a weekend that was fantastic, and they're looking forward to the next weekend. Right. And a lot of us do that. It's a life by default. It's my boss set me this schedule and I've got to follow it. I've got to follow the time when I can go to the washroom, my pee breaks. I'm going to be stuck in traffic. I'm going to get home and finally get some relief from the day. And that's not living. So Sunday night, it's intentional design of the week. There's some goals that I need to achieve and I need to hit them hard come Monday morning.
Absolutely.
How about you?
Yeah, same thing. Sunday night, but you got to spend. It doesn't even take that long to do it. You basically, if you were to look at your life and you map out the week, right? You had a jar and you had a pile of like rocks and you had a pile of gravel and you had a pile of sand. And you're trying to get as much of that in your jar as you can. The big rocks represent the things that are important, the things that are intentional. The gravel or some of the other things that are kind of important that need to get done. And the sand is like all the filler stuff, right? All the stuff that doesn't really lead up to much. Well, if you're going to fill up the jars, you don't start with the sand and then the gravel and the big rocks. You got to put the big rocks in first, then the gravel, and then the sand. You're going to get more. You're going to get more done, and that really represents your life and your time. And really, what you're doing on Sunday night is really like putting the gravel or putting the bigger rocks into the jar. So you have intention with how the week is going to go. What needs my focus and intention?
Oh, exactly. And you see so many people, they actually focus on the gravel. What ends up happening is you make this long to-do list. I've got to call the guy for the air conditioner. I've got to mow the lawn. I've got to, pay some of the bills. And these are all the gravel items that you could get to later. And then by the end of the day, you've completed 10, 12 tasks. Then you're like, I'm not fulfilled. I'm not satisfied. I didn't do anything, even though I got this list of 10, 12 things done. So, it's focusing on the rocks. It's focusing on the big rocks. Hey, listen, for me, I've got a certain objective at the end of the week. Being in business for myself, I'm looking for clients. I'm looking to acquire clients. Making 100 phone calls in a week and not getting a result is not a win. So I'm going in with intention. Comes down to, working out. I've got a goal of losing half a pound. There's some intentional activity to get there. There's a complete focus. There's some tasks I got to do every day to get there. You look at my kids don't live with me. They're older now. They're on their own. There's an intentional time to call them. I know that seems weird to, book in this time for your kids. But if I don't do that, I might get sidetracked. It's that date with my wife every Friday night, Wednesday afternoon, whatever it is. Again, it's calendared into a schedule so I can optimize everything. And that's how I roll. How about you, Jay?
No, exactly. How you just laid that out. Like hard actually has a meaning, right? We say, but do hard things. It's being intentional with your health. That's what the H stands for, your health and wellness. So what are you doing with your health and wellness this week? How are you showing up with intention? Mm-hmm. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting enough nutrition? Are you exercising? Are you going to the doctor to take care of that health need? Because this is how you produce your body is your energy vessel, right? This is your power plant, your affluence and wealth. Like how are you creating your business, right? I'm gonna close X amount of clients this week, or I'm going to some of us, I think here in the States, today's tax day. Like, are your taxes done? How are you being intentional with that? Your relationships, right? Date night is planned. Time, one-on-one time with the kids is planned. I've got a lunch planned with an old friend. I've got these phone calls, need to catch up with a few folks. And then D is development. Like, what are you doing for yourself to develop your skill? Like, how are you sharpening your edge?
Yeah.
Is it a podcast? Am I reading a book with intention? Am I, signing up for a class? How am I sharpening my edge? So I appreciate that, because you just went right down the line. Boom, 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 with intention.
And it takes practice, right? A lot of people just don't know what to do. I remember back in my school teaching days, I was a phys ed teacher for basically 2 decades and loved my job. The kids loved coming to class or liked coming to class. The kids who hated gym tolerated it because we had a good relationship. But I got to tell you, I liked my weekends too. And Monday was another day of a loss of freedom from my own schedule. And now I'm set into this schedule, and I hate that. Some of you listening to this do not like being contained by somebody else's schedule. And that's just the way with teaching. So here's a situation where you go into work, and I liked what I did, but I didn't love Mondays. And teaching phys ed for so long became so routine, it was almost on autopilot. So it's kind of like, this is boring. What do I do to make my day different now? So you might be watching going like, I hate my job. How do I make things different? And I remember Tony Robbins saying, look for highlights. Look for highlights throughout the day. And this is what he did not mean. He did not mean at the end of the night, when you're done work, order some Chinese food and gorge out, then have a chocolate cake afterwards. I mean, that's the wrong version of a highlight. So what he started doing was, every Monday, I was going to look for a highlight to make a kid's day. Say something that was going to, spark the mind of a fellow teacher or inspire them. I was looking for opportunities. And then all of a sudden, work's not just work anymore. You're looking for these opportunities. Hey, Johnny, I love that shot. You keep going, and you're going to make your school team one day. That's so exciting. And really, did you mean that, Mr. K? Absolutely. All of a sudden, he's walking around like he's somebody, right? And I did that for him. So then the whole day was, you start looking for these opportunities to contribute and make a difference, right? That's what I'm talking about, highlights. So if you hate your job and you just want to get through it, what are the highlights that you can seek? And it's usually in the form of contributing to another person's life or getting a passion outside of work, whether that's Taekwondo, CrossFit, video editing, photography, cooking. Develop some kind of passion, because if you don't have that, then you're wishing your life away and you can't wait till Friday. And that's a really shitty way to live.
No, I absolutely agree. I'm currently, as when we get off this call, I'm going to put my uniform top on and head into work, and honoring the struggle, because I have a couple projects that I'm working on at work that it's not filling my cup, right? I'm working on a couple things. I'll be honest. I really, if I could not do them, my life would be better. However, people need me on my A game for that project. So how can I flip the script on this? What I'm going to do? I'm going to go in, because what I used to do would be like, I'll have a project and I would do what I could to the last minute to procrastinate. I would dilly dally. Maybe I'm over here at the water cooler. It's Monday morning and football season. We're talking about football. The Blues, St. Louis Blues, just made the playoffs. We'll be talking about that. Anything except the task at hand. But what I've learned is, if I can come in the first hour of the day and just 50-minute time block and just crush through it and get through that, my day is better. It's honoring the struggle of this task that I have to do, and other people are relying on me to do a good job. So it helps me kind of flip the script on that, right? So as opposed to procrastinating to the last minute where I'm just giving my shittiest work, and it's just, I'll time block it and just crush through it and be like, somebody needs me. This is a task. My boss needs me to do this. Other people within the project are relying on me to do a good job. And if I wait till the last minute, it's delaying everything else. And it's basically just causing me to procrastinate and dread, because really what I'm doing is avoiding the main thing. And that's not a good way to live either. So sometimes we just have to honor the struggle, that we just have to do these things that we don't want to do.
And you talked about procrastination. I know this. I don't think I've missed a workout in decades. I don't care if I'm sick. I had COVID. I still worked out. Decades. but I hate working out. I actually hate training. It's hard work for me. It's not fun. I don't enjoy it at all. Right. And my wife says, like, didn't you get into the gym yet? No, I'm procrastinating. I'm going to have another coffee. I'm going to wait for it. But I got to tell you, when you start bullying yourself into doing the stuff that you need to do and you complete it and you don't put it off till later, what a feeling afterwards. Your whole day is kind of like, I worked out already. I don't need to think about it. I don't need to do it later on when I'm tired, because, fatigue does make cowards of us all. Start getting tired. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to work out today. Right. Just get the job done. But you alluded to this 50-minute time block, doing the most important thing. And just imagine you wake up in the morning, 9 a.m. to 9:50, you get that most important thing done. Jay, you could do nothing else in the day. Zero. Have a completely unproductive day other than that one block where you completed that critical task. And you're like, my day's good. I did what I needed to do. Like, I can coast the rest of the day and put my head on my pillow and just say, that was a good day because of that one task.
Absolutely.
And just aligning with that one task and doing it and not procrastinating is huge.
My friend Dale Walsh from Lions Guide, he taught me the maker's morning, the manager's afternoon. And the rule of thumb is get the main things done as much as you can before 1, and then do all the managerial stuff in the afternoon. Phone calls, emails, meetings. Because what happens is, as the day goes on, just like your cell phone, you wake up in the morning, you're at 100%, right? And as the day goes on, that percentage goes down and down. Well, you're the same way. Your body's the same way. So why are you giving your morning away to all these trivial tasks?
That's right.
When you're kind of run down a little bit. So do the thing in the morning. Your days will be a hell of a lot better. You're going to feel better. And it's going to take that monkey off your back, or that cloud that's hovering, because procrastination is just not a good feeling. And really what you're doing is you're avoiding it. And if you're finding yourself busy before leading to the procrastination, well, it's a form of laziness when you're doing other work outside of what that you should be doing. And it's just a really bad habit.
Yep. Jay, do you have a lag time? There's some time in the day where you just feel like you need to take a nap because for whatever reason, it was 3 p.m. Come 3 p.m., my eyes started shutting and I'm like, what's wrong with me? I had a good night. I've eaten properly. I'm healthy. 3 o'clock, there's just this giant lull where I don't want to do anything. Do you ever get that?
Yeah, I'll get it. It's about the same time, 2:30, 3 o'clock ish.
Did you know the circadian rhythm? They say that 3 o'clock is that time. So when I saw that just recently, I'm like, okay, good, I'm normal. Like, I don't know if one of the listeners out there is saying, oh, I get the same thing, but that is the case. For whatever reason, 3 o'clock, people hit a wall. I don't know what physiological phenomenon that is, but it happens. So getting everything done earlier and come 3 o'clock, having that bit of a break after doing your managerial tasks from 1 to 2:30, it's great.
Yeah. If I could find time for a 15-minute power nap, my days are infinitely better, but I don't always have the opportunity to do that. But it's around that 2:30, 3 o'clock mark where I kind of feel it. And I know that anything that I'm doing at that time is not getting my best attention because, like I said, I'm down, right? I'm feeling kind of tired. Now, if I take a power nap, I can get back up and I can get back at it. But I don't have that luxury to do that. I need to go move to Spain. I think they shut down in the afternoon every day.
Well, let me ask you something. Have you ever slept in your car for 15 minutes when you set your alarm clock? 15 minutes in the car and you wake up on like, where the hell am I? What's this, right?
Yeah.
You ever had that, but then you feel rejuvenated after that 15 minutes, even if it's a shitty sleep in the vehicle?
No, it works. It works. But unfortunately, I know there's a lot of us that don't have the opportunity to do that. But that's like you said, circadian rhythm.
Yeah, it's crazy. I used to take a lunch break for school. I'd eat really quickly. I'd drive off to a park, have my lunch, take a nap for 15 minutes, and come back to school just rejuvenated, because my alternative was hanging out in the staff room. Guess what happens in the staff room? All the chitter chatter about students and teachers and negativity. I was just going to avoid that. You do something more productive, right?
Yeah.
But speaking of that, Jay, how many people in the morning, first thing in the morning, I heard this from Ed Milet, the worst thing you could do is get on your phone. And the worst thing you do is start checking the news, because I used to do that. What's going on with current events? Nothing's positive. There's nothing positive for that first 30 minutes that you wake up. And all of a sudden you got this stuff in your head. Something's going on in Ukraine, the economy's down, inflation's up, and You just read 3 different texts, and you're like, my day's already started shitty.
Tom, there's people that wake up in the morning and the first thing they type in their Facebook post is Joe Biden is a piece of this, or Donald Trump
Right.
said that. That is not healthy. I don't
No.
care who you are. That should not be the first post of the day, especially anytime before 9 a.m. But you see it. If you happen to scroll on there, you will see that type of stuff.
Right. Now, I think you're old enough. You're younger than me, where we used to have, our cereal. It was like Fruit Loops or whatever it was. 17 years old, eating your cereal, and all we had to look at was the cereal box, and you read the back of the cereal box. That's what we did as kids growing up. Right nowadays, you got the phone, and I don't know. Older people tend to sway towards the negative. The younger people are looking through reels and jokes. It's not the way to start your weekend intentionally.
I would have the Captain Crunch.
Oh,
And
really?
they would have the red crunch berries, and I'd be staring at the box because on the side of the box there usually be like a little puzzle or something, and I'd be sitting there trying to dig out the good stuff and then solving the puzzle. It was like such a slower period of time where there was more boredom, but I think that was good for us.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. I take a look at some of my downtime. I'll be playing poker on my phone or fiddling through some kind of a TikTok. What did we do back then? Did we do anything back then? Like
I remember Saturday morning cartoons. I don't. Everything was just a slower pace, right? Everything was a such slower pace. And although all this technology is great, I think it's we're just operating at such a faster pace.
Yeah.
And we're rarely bored, and we're always looking for something to stimulate. We're looking for that next dopamine hit.
Yeah, we are.
And that's why it's I don't know. I don't know what the long-term outcome of this is going to be, but it's probably not going to be good.
No. And I think the key here is just being aware of it. I'm on a freaking rat race. Let me get off this for a second. Let me just breathe. Let me find out what I really need to do here, because I'm noticing that I'm addicted to my phone. Hey, listen, I'm addicted to my phone. I'm very productive on it. I answer a lot of messages, emails, and texts throughout the day, but it's always in my hand. I'm going to the beach, and it's on my hand. I open up my remote control for our gates with that phone, right? It's amazing how addicted I am to it, but in a more positive way. How about so many people? It's like 9 hours. Apparently, people are on their phone 9 hours of a day.
Well,
So
they're in the bathroom. They're standing in the urinal, and they're just like,
yeah, I know. Aren't you afraid you might drop in the toilet? Like, people will sleep 9 hours. They'll go to work for 8. Okay, no, sorry. They'll sleep for 6 hours. They'll go to work for 8. What's left? 8, 14, and then they're on their phones for another 9.
yeah.
You got 1 more left for all the maintenance stuff. Going to the bathroom, eating your food. I mean, that means you're on the phone all the time. Bad move. That's not intentional living.
It's not. It's a form of distraction and escapism. And happiness can only be found in the moment. We talk about high performance, being present in the moment. And the phone is a big killer. I know that we all struggle with it, but trying to find, how can you put some boundaries around your phone? And one thing, even in the evenings, you're coming home after a long day. And I mean, I've had it. I sat there, I come in my living room and I'm scrolling my phone and I look up and, my daughter's on the video game. The other one's over there on YouTube. And like, okay, stop. Hey, everyone, let's put the phones down for a few minutes. Maybe let's play this board game or just try to have a conversation, because we're all many of us are living in close proximity with one another, but we're not engaged and present because we're all so addicted to that doggone cell phone.
Yeah.
And I find myself doing that from time to time.
Again, it comes down to just intentional living. How can I move away from that and get the tasks that I need to get done? And it's not all productive labor-based tasks towards your business goal. It's what I said before. It's actually intentionally blocking that time off, using your technology to FaceTime somebody and actually have a conversation if there's some distance between you, right? Scheduling that time to work out, scheduling that time with your wife, that intentional time, because we take it for granted. Well, she's just kind of there, so it's fine. Yeah, but what are you doing that's meaningful?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Phones, and we don't do that.
Absolutely. Well, I got a couple journal prompt type questions for people. So as they kick off their week, if you're watching this, here are a couple things I want you to think about as you plan this week, because this is day 2 of the week. The week's already started. But who needs you on your A game this week? What moment or situation? Maybe it's a work situation. Maybe you need to be there for a friend. Maybe it's your partner. but who needs you on your A game this week, and how can you show up with intention, being fully present in that moment to deliver? So think about that moment. And as we talk about being intentional, we have to think through these things. That's why these journal prompts are important. The next one is what could trip you up this week? Because a lot of times life happens. Life is going to happen. What I was thinking about, what happened to me. I got tripped up on Saturday. I took my car in for a routine service, and this doggone car, I tell you what, a few weeks ago, it left me kind of stranded. The clutch went out, but I had a wheel bearing went out, and another $800 into this doggone car. Right? I'm like, man, I was like, just life is going to happen. So what is going to happen to you this week? What could potentially happen to you this week? And how would your best self navigate through that? Because no matter what happens, you're going to get hit with bad news or something's going to throw you off.
Yep.
How would you show up with that? How can you show up with intention with your partner this week or your family? Like you said, Tom, you got date night planned. I know Lacey's coming down later this week, so I've got Thursday night blocked off for her, and how intentional time, right? So how can you pour in or put some boundaries around some intentional time? I got Saturday with my kiddos. They're here this week, and I got some time blocked out on Saturday for them. And then finally, what could you do for yourself this week? Oftentimes we're giving to everyone else. But what could you do with intention this week for yourself? Because when you're on your A game for yourself, you're going to show up better for everyone else. A lot of people are like, I don't have time to engage in my hobby or my passion or go to the gym or do these things because I'm giving to everyone else. Well, you need to block out some time for yourself because they're not getting the best version of you. So how can you show up with intention for yourself?
You're right.
So those are just a few journal prompts.
Yeah, those are, this is recorded, right?
Yeah, it's recorded. Yep.
Okay, great. So if somebody wants to rewind that, write it down. I mean, those are wicked journal prompts. And I recommend people actually get that journal and just jot out some notes, whether it's in a book, which I prefer, or on your phone. There's a power in writing this stuff down. You've often heard this, the world doesn't revolve around you. But my world revolves around me. Why wouldn't I want to take care of myself? As you said, if I don't have the best version of me, I'm in a bad mood. And nobody benefits from that. So yeah, I do put me first, because when I put me first, everybody else benefits. When I'm on my game, everybody wins. And I think we got to kind of take that approach, just flip it a little bit, live a life of servanthood, but you do that from a position of strength, not from a position of weakness.
Absolutely. I'm going to drop these questions here in the chat. So if you're watching this later or whatnot, I'll drop them in there. But like you said, there's something powerful about taking your pencil out and just taking a couple minutes and just kind of writing this out, being intentional and really thinking through these things. And that's how you can best show up when the time comes. And I've learned this the hard way. I used to think like journaling was kind of cheesy. It was kind of hippie-ish, if you will, or a little. Right. I'm a man. We don't journal, right?
Right.
No, I tell you what, it has fundamentally changed my life, and it slows me down and forces me to be more intentional.
Yeah, Jay, I'm looking at myself in this podcast here. I'm looking at my face. I'm like, holy shit, I look old. Man, oh man! Like my face is swollen up because of a Saturday refuel. All right, we're talking about fun foods. I had a giant smoothie before I went to bed. Believe it or not, it was a healthy thing, but I had the calories, so I ate them. I had a bunch of Sour Patch Kids, which I normally never do because it's not like I'm on a regimented diet except for Saturday. I can't remember what else I ate, but I ate a bunch of shitty foods. And 2 days later, I'm not on, man. I'm not on. Face is puffy, so what's the point of this? The point is, we talk about fueling up your body. Imagine if you could actually fuel up your body to perform versus eating like shit or drinking it up. And the next day you're a little messed up. You're not optimal. You didn't sleep well. You're not drinking your water. A little hungover or a little bit of a sugar high and then a sugar low after that. I mean, people need to get this shit. I just got reminded by my face, man. You look great. You look great. I don't know if it's the lighting, but holy smokes.
Yeah, I this week I don't know, I'm going to be intentional about my hydration, drinking a gallon of water. And I had a couple drinks earlier. Was it Friday night? I think, no, Saturday night. So, but yesterday, being fully aware, like, okay, if you're tired or exhausted, it's a 72-hour window leading up. So your energy now is going to generally be dictated by what you did within that 72 hours beforehand.
100%.
And, so abstaining and being intentional about hydrating. I drank a bunch of extra water because I knew that it's being intentional with your health and knowing that it's going to have an effect on you.
Yeah, it does. So you gear up on Sunday. You might want to have your fun on Saturday, gear up on Sunday, recuperate, recharge the battery, family time. For those of you who go to church Sunday, it's that time. And then you just kind of rev up, plan your Sunday, and then hit the ground running on Monday. And that's the point of this weekly call every Monday morning.
Absolutely. So Tom and I, we're planning on coming in every Monday morning and just trying to kind of help everyone gain some focus and intention, maybe motivate, inspire you to really think about your week so you can dominate the week and crush the week. And, I guess one other question I have for everyone that's listening is, how are you going to be 1% better? You don't have to change everything, but if you were just 1% better this week, what's one thing that you could do with intention? What's maybe a habit you need to start? What's one thing that you could do for yourself with intention that will improve you? Because if you do that consistently, your life will be infinitely better.
Big time over time. Jay, people can write in, they can text in questions for Mondays. Yes?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So if you have a question you want to ask us, just get our perspective. That's fantastic. We'd love to hear your questions. And Jay, just briefly before we go, let's talk about the Forge group.
Yeah, Forge group. The Forge meets up every Wednesday night at 7 Central Standard Time. The Forge is a mastermind. A mastermind is a community of people of growth. Only 10% of people engage in personal growth and development. If you want to level up, get with a small group of people that are, or a community of people that are focusing on themselves. You go in there and hey, you share your struggles, you share your wins, you share your knowledge. People in a mastermind, they do business with one another. And there's infinite growth when you're amongst a community of people that are growing. And every week we come in there and teach a topic, really just facilitate a conversation, because the mastermind isn't about us, it's about the community. We facilitate the topics. Sometimes people within the mastermind who are subject matter experts, they will lead the conversation. We've been recently doing, the last couple of weeks have been more like quarterly planning because we're in Q2 now. But leading up to that, we were doing the Are You Prepared series. We have a book of the month, Are You Prepared? The book that we're working through is I'm Dead, Now What? I know it sounds morbid, but it's basically a workbook to help you in the event of catastrophe. How can your family, do they know where everything is in your home? Do they know where your bank account stuff is? All the passwords to everything? Where are all the insurance stuff? Like all of these things. We had James Roberson, who's the founder of the 516 Project. He came in and talked about his organization and like, hey, when disaster strikes, because anyone that's listening to this, you're living geographically where there is disaster that could potentially happen to you.
Yeah.
And so we were basically just kind of talking through, hey, these are some considerations. It's not a topic on prepping, but just basically being prepared in the event that something were to happen. And so that's just one example of a topic that we've been talking about. But every Wednesday at 7 Central Standard Time, we have a private group. There's a membership area so we create training and host a conversation weekly.
Right. And you talked about these Q2 goals. We're talking about April, May, and June. If you walk into one of these Forge groups and you've got a couple of goals, it might be, I want to lose 30 pounds or I want to accelerate my business, whatever it may be. I will tell you this, the moment you put that out there to the two of us, you now have double the firepower from a coach standpoint. I promise you this, you're going to be held accountable. You want to accelerate things over the next 3 months, let us know your intent and we'll help you get there. I mean, that's a big part of Forge is you and I supporting other people in their goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Groups like this have fundamentally transformed my life. And I used to think, man, why would I want to get involved in a group like that, or didn't know what it was? A lot of people have never been engaged in a group like that. But I'm telling you, everyone in that group is absolutely crushing it right now. And so that's an opportunity for people. And so, yeah. Aside from that, a couple other things we got going on. The Do Hard Things podcast this week features Dr. Amy Skiles, who wrote a book called Get Back to Work. So we're going to be dropping that podcast on Wednesday. And huge announcement, and I think I posted this yesterday or on Saturday. The Do Hard Things apparel brand is going to be the official apparel sponsor of the Best Sapper competition for 2022. The Best Sapper competition, this is the 15th annual Lieutenant General Flowers Best Sapper competition. And basically, you probably have seen the Best Ranger competition on ESPN. Well, sappers are combat engineers. We have a very similar competition that happens here at Fort Leonard Wood, and a big event happening this weekend as they kick off that awesome event. So we're proud to. You want to talk about people doing hard things? It's a 72-hour competition for some of the best soldiers in the nation to earn the right to be the best sapper. And so we're honored to be a part of that. And we'll have some video footage and probably a podcast around that particular event. So those are all the big things that are happening here in the community. Anything else we're missing, Tom?
That's about it, man. I think you nailed it.
All right.
Format. Looking forward to helping people out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's great to have you here. I'm excited about this. This is a great way to start the week. I know I'm excited and motivated. And for those that are out there listening, if you want to be a part of the Forge, let us know. Check out the podcast, and we'll put a post or something out there. Hey, just what questions would you have on a Monday morning or something like that? Ask Jay and Tom anything. We'll figure that out as we go forward from this. But
no matter how crazy it is, we'll answer. I don't mind sharing my views. I know
absolutely.
You don't.
So for everyone out there, hey, do hard things this week. Get after it, and just remember, who loses if you don't win? Who loses if you don't win? Get out there and make it happen, and we will see you guys soon. We got a couple comments here. Great guys, great start to the week. It's an awesome partnership with the Sapper organization. Congrats, and I appreciate both of you taking the time to motivate us. We appreciate you. You could be doing anything this morning. You could be arguing with people on Facebook. You could be whatever it is that you do, but you're choosing to be here watching us. That means you're cut above the rest. So appreciate you guys. Do hard things. We'll see you guys soon. Tom, have a good one, brother.
You too. Take care.
Yep. See ya.